Hi dear students, today we are going to discuss the topic that is a nuclear radiation detector, that is nothing but a GM counter. There are many counters, that is nuclear radiation detectors, scintillation counter, GM counter, emulsion counter and all. So based on many principles like ionization principle, fluorescence, etc. Today we are going to discuss the construction and working of GM counter. You know what is GM? GM is Geiger-Müller counter. Geiger-Müller counter. So this counter is based on the principle of ionization. Ionization. What is ionization? Ionization is nothing but the removal of outermost electron from the atom. From the atom, the removal of outermost electron, what we call it as a ionization, or it may be refer it as addition of the electron to the outermost orbit. Here we are referring the removal of electron from the outermost orbit. So GM counter is based on the principle of ionization. So here there is a ionization takes place so that we are counting the input radiation. Okay. So there are many counters which is going to detect the radiation. So what is nuclear radiation? That may be alpha radiation, that is alpha particle, alpha, beta, gamma radiation. We are referring alpha particle, beta particle, but gamma radiation. Why? This alpha particle is nothing but helium nuclei, right? Helium nuclei. Beta is nothing but the electron coming from the nucleus. What is gamma? Gamma radiation is nothing but the higher energy photons which is coming from the nucleus. Okay, this electron. You may ask, there is no electron inside the nucleus. If we consider this nucleus, there is no electron. Electrons are always revolving around the nucleus, right? You know that. So even though there is no electron inside the nucleus, how we will get the electron? That is nothing but beta particles. These electrons are nothing but the electrons coming from the nucleus. Even though there is no electrons, how we will get this beta particle? It is because of the conversion of proton into neutron, neutron into proton in the, during the nuclear reactions. So what is nuclear physics? You know very well. That is the study of nucleus, right? Study of nucleus. So nuclear radiations are nothing but these radiations, which is the radiation that may be proton, that may be alpha, beta, gamma, which is coming from the nucleus of the atom. Okay. Now, to detect this radiation, we know these radiations are hazardous to the health, right? So, to detect this radiation, we need some detectors. How much amount of nuclear radiation is coming from the source? So, we need to detect, right? So, we are having many detectors. We are going to discuss today about this GM counter, that is nothing but the counter or the detector, that is nuclear radiation detector, which is going to use to detect the nuclear radiation. Especially it is very that is active for the beta source. Okay, beta source. We may it may count the gamma also. The extent of that is very less. Okay, let us come to the topic, the construction first. What is the construction? We are going to study today about the construction and working of GM counter. First, the construction of GM counter. So, it consisting of, the GM counter consisting of a tube, metal tube. This metal tube of 10 centimeter, almost nearly a 10 centimeter long and 1 centimeter in diameter. Okay, this is the tube and this is the resistor, capacitor and the external circuit, that is amplifier, counting system. This total we referring it as a GM counter. This is the GM tube. Okay, this GM tube is of 10 centimeter long, about 1 centimeter of diameter, and there is an anode wire which is along this tube. There is a anode wire and there is a mica window. Mica window. It is a window made for this radiation, and this mica window through this mica window, the radiation from the source will enter the GM tube. Okay, it is filled with, the tube is filled with the that is gas, that is an inert gas which is going to be ionized, and the ethyl alcohol. This ethyl alcohol we call it as quenching agent. I will tell you later what is this quenching and why we are using this quenching agent. Okay, this argon and ethyl alcohol is used in the 10:1 ratio. So this quenching agent, some amount of the quenching agent is added to the inert gas which is going to be used in the GM counter, that is the GM tube. So there is an external circuit here. This anode, this we call it as a tungsten wire. Inside this tube there is a tungsten wire which is stretched along the tube, which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Okay, which is connected to the positive terminal. This tube is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So this anode wire is connected to the positive terminal. So it acts as anode wire. Is connected to the positive terminal. So it is acts as cathode. Okay, it acts as cathode. That is anode. It acts as anode, which we call it as tungsten wire or anode wire. This metal tube acts as cathode. Okay, this is the construction. There is an external resistor and capacitor circuits, and also amplifying circuit to amplify the signals which is coming to the output, and also counting system which will give you the count according to the amplified output. Okay, this is the construction. Let us come to the working of this tube. How exactly this will work? Okay, there is a source here. It may be of alpha, especially as I told, the beta source we are using here. The radiation coming from the beta source which will enter the tube through this mica window. Okay, what happens when the radiation enters to this tube? There is argon gas here, right? The argon gas will ionize. As I told, what is ionization? That is the removal of outermost electron, right? There is a removal of outermost electron. You may get the doubt that the argon gas is an inert gas. How we can remove the electron easily? So it is not easy. It is the radiation, nuclear radiation, that is with the higher energy. So that will remove the outermost electron. So we will get, that is the argon will ionize, and there is a formation of argon plus electron. There is a formation of ion pairs, ion and electron. This is a positive ion and this is the electron pair. So as long as radiation enters the tube through the mica window, there is a ionization. So that is the principle of this. Ionization will take place if argon will form argon plus electron. What happens to these ions? As we know, this is the anode wire, this metal body acts as cathode. This argon will move towards the negative, right? Cathode is having negative charge. So that will move towards the cathode, and electron will move towards the anode wire. There is some of nearly 1000 volts of potential difference between this anode and cathode. So this ion pair formed, the electron will move towards the anode wire, this argon will move towards, argon ion will move towards the cathode. So those will collect at the anode and cathode. Because of that, there is a count at the output. So this the count at the output depends upon the amount of ionization occur here. Okay, firstly the amount of ionization occur here, and also that depends upon the input radiation, how much the radiation is coming inside the tube. Okay, now so what happens? The ionization will leads to the count. The output count, the what is found at the output, that will be amplified by using proper amplifier circuit, and we will get a display on the GM tube about the count at the counting system. Okay, so this is the working of this. Let us come to the characteristic. So characteristic of this GM counter. Characteristic graph. How we can write the characteristic graph? If there is a, that is the y-axis is taken as counting rate. What is this counting rate? Counting rate is nothing but the number of counts per with respect to time. Okay, this is the voltage given. Whatever the voltage we are giving to the circuit or this tube, that is the voltage, input voltage. What happens? Till a certain voltage there is no count. Till a certain voltage, at the starting voltage there is no count. After a certain voltage, what we call it as a threshold voltage, the counter will starts to count the radiation. Okay, this we call it as the VTH or the threshold voltage. After that there is a continuous count. What it indicates? There is a continuous ionization inside the tube. The argon ion continuously moving towards the cathode and electron towards the anode. There is a count at the output. The count is going to increase, that is the counting rate will going to increase with respect to the voltage. So I am taking this point as A. Here it has B, C, D. This is the characteristic actually. So if I take at the point B, that is at the voltage, at some voltage V1, what happens? At some voltage V1, the V1 to V2, that is from B to C in the characteristic graph, there is a constant count without increase, almost constant count. Why this happens? As I told, there is a radiation coming from the source inside towards the tube. What happens inside this? There is a continuous ionization, right? There is a ionization inside the tube. What happens here? The argon ions are formed, number of argon ions and number of electrons are formed, right? So this argon ions are heavier. You know, this electrons are very lighter compared to this argon ions, right? So this positive ions are heavier, it should move towards the cathode, right? These electrons are lighter, it will easily move towards the anode wire. So what happens? Because of the potential from V1 to V2, at that potential, there is a sheath formation of argon ion here. There is a sheath of argon ions. As it heavier, the rate of movement of this argon towards this is very less. So what happens? There is a sheath formation. Because of that sheath formation here, it is difficult for the electrons here, inside this. In between this argon sheath and this anode wire, there are many electrons that couldn't come here, and argon ion couldn't come here, and electron cannot move towards the anode wire. So what happens? Because of that sheath or the avalanche, we call that as a avalanche formation. Because of that avalanche, what happens? The rate, counting rate will be almost constant. When that reaches to the voltage, we call this as a breakdown voltage. V2, we call it as a breakdown voltage. When the voltage reaches to this breakdown voltage, what happens? There is a continuous discharge, sudden discharge of the this ions. So because of that sudden discharge, what happens? All the argon ion will move towards the cathode suddenly, and all the electron collected here will move towards the anode suddenly. So there is a continuous output with the lots of counts. So we will get this output. So there is a term called that is quenching. So what is the necessity of using this quenching agent? As I told, there is a argon, that is the inert gas which is used inside the tube, and also the quenching agents which is used, right? So what is the use of this quenching? There are two types of quenching. We refer it as internal quenching. Internal means we are using some amount of quenching agents like ethyl alcohol inside the tube. External quenching is nothing but we are using high resistance at the output to control the inside count. Okay, that is the different matter. Here we are using internal count, that is internal quenching. So we are using ethyl alcohol, right? What is this? Ethyl alcohol that is used as a quenching agent. What happens? As I told, whenever the radiation from the source will come inside the tube, what happens? there is a formation of argon plus plus electron. So argon will move towards the cathode, electron will move towards the anode. While neutralization, what happens to collect this argon ion towards the cathode? Whenever the argon ion hits the cathode, that will get some energy or get some electron from the cathode, right? So what happens when that gets the electron from the cathode? What happens? Argon plus plus electron. What happens? Argon. This argon formed, the argon which is formed here, which is at the higher energy state, that is in the excited state, okay, argon plus. During de-excitation, argon star, we are referring star for the excited atoms, right? This excited atom, during de-excitation, there is an emission of photon of Hν energy. So there is an emission of photon. This photon emission, because of this photon emission, what happens? This photon will hit this cathode. You know the photoelectric effect, right? What is that? When the high energy photon will incident on the metal, what happens? There is an emission of electron, right? This photon formed here because of the de-excitation of argon while during the neutralization, this photon will hit the cathode wall again and there is an emission of photoelectric electron. Photoelectric, that is photoelectron, what we refer it as a photoelectron. Because of this photoelectron, it may go to the anode wire. There is a possibility, right? So, during the neutralization of argon ion towards this cathode, that is by this cathode, that will get an electron. So, that gives to argon atom. That is in the excited state. During de-excitation of this argon, what happens? There is a emission of photon. That photon may hit the cathode again. There may be emission of that is electron, photoelectron. That may go towards the anode wire and that may affect the external count. We know how we detect here the radiation. As long as the radiation enters the tube, ionization occurs. Because of the ionization, ionic pair formed. Because of that ionic pair formed, that will move towards the cathode and anode. That will affect the external count, right? We need the count, that is our external count what we get, that depends upon the rate of ionization here and also that depends upon the amount of radiation which is coming inside the tube. So, we shouldn't get the count because of this photoelectron, right? Amount of ionization formed here should give us the external count, that will give us the amount of radiation entering the tube. So, we shouldn't get this. We don't need this electron, the count from this electron. So, we need to suppress this extra electron which is formed during the neutralization of argon. So, to suppress this, we are using this ethyl alcohol. So, we are using ethyl alcohol. What happens when we use the 1% of ethyl alcohol? So, during the neutralization of argon, what happens? Argon, that is, as the radiation enters the tube, there is a formation of argon plus plus electron. Argon will move towards the cathode. Before that hits the cathode, this argon ion will hit the ethyl alcohol molecule. Then that will get an electron from the ethyl alcohol molecule and that will get neutralized. Because of that, the electron removal from the ethyl alcohol molecule, that will get an electron from the cathode. So during the hitting of the ethyl alcohol molecule to the cathode, what happens? Ethyl alcohol molecule will get excited so that because of the neutralization or de-excitation, so this ethyl alcohol after de-excitation that prefers decomposition rather than the emission of photon. In the case of argon, what will happen? There is an emission of photon in the range of UV radiation. So that there is a photoelectric effect. So there is an emission of photoelectron. But if we use this quenching agent, what happens? When the electron, that is argon, get neutralized, what happens? ethyl alcohol will give that electron and by hitting the ethyl alcohol, argon ion will get neutralized. This ethyl alcohol will get an electron from the cathode and that will go to the excited state. So during de-excitation it prefers decomposition rather than the emission of photon. So that will be helpful for us to suppress this electron or the photoelectron which is formed during the counting. This is the ionization procedure. Next, we should know there is a term. You know very well, you will do the experiment about this. You did already about the dead time of GM counter. What is this dead time? So you know every instrument has some negative impact, that is the error. So that is this dead time of this GM counter is some amount of time, that is in terms of, normally for some GM counters it is in terms of 100 to 200 milliseconds, in terms of micro to milliseconds. The counter will unable to give the external count, that counter will unable to give the external output or the external count, that we refer it as a dead time of GM counter. Okay, so that is in terms of some milli to microseconds. So, and what is the operating voltage? There comes a term here, that is operating voltage. That is a operating voltage. That is a voltage, particular voltage with which the GM counter will going to give the proper count. That is the standard voltage which is used to operate the counter. How we can determine? Here we know this is the starting voltage Vs. Okay, this is the breakdown voltage Vb. So we are referring this line, this graph, on this graph, this line as plateau region. We call it as a plateau region because that is almost of equal, a constant counts. Okay, if we did starting voltage plus breakdown voltage by 2, we will get the average voltage here, that we call it as the operating voltage. Okay, as the GM we are referring as much greater the plateau region, the GM counter is good in the working. Okay, so that is very important, the construction and working of GM counter. What is GM counter? It is a nuclear radiation detector used to detect the radiation. So there are many GM counter we are using in the lab also, and to detect in some industries, and there are many applications.